afternoon, this is R.P.Radford, 50 Years of Chess. I've got a game for you from December 2017, a Bristol League match, South Bristol versus Keynsham, and my opponent was Adrian champion. And his rating was around about 1788, and I was 1878. So I was playing white, and this is the way the game went. E4, E5, that's it. Knight F3, Knight F6. This is known as a Petrov defense, and it's usually a very drawish line, but see how it goes. I took the pawn on E4, played D6, I went back to F3, and Adrian took the pawn. Now this, in other videos, I've shown you that I play a little pet line which is C3, so that if they automatically play Bishop E7, then I can come out with Queen A5 check and pick up the knight. I won many games with this, but Adrian, whether he just didn't notice or whatever, he just played D5, which is the move that usually comes after whatever I play, because white usually plays D4, not C3. So he may have known that I'd played this. He may have seen it in game somewhere. So anyway, he played D5. So that was the end of that little trick. Knight away, and then I pin the knight to the queen, pin the knight to the queen. Bishop E7, Knight D2, castle, Knight E5, Knight back to D7. So I withdrew my bishop to defend the knight. I took the knight, and then he played Knight D7 again. So I defended the bishop. He took it, I took with the pawn, then he played F6. So I took on F6 and he retook the bishop. And then Bishop E2, because I must get developed and castled, otherwise he'd be ahead of me. C6, he is slightly ahead of me at the moment. If you look on the bar on the right, you'll see that where the red line is, my white level has dropped a little bit, which means he's doing better. So castle, D4. I tapped the bishop, and he took the pawn on C3. Knight takes the bishop on F6, and he retook the queen. So at first it looks like pawn takes pawn, queen takes pawn. I'm down a pawn, but I've got queen D3 check, which sends his king in the corner on H8. Then I retook, meaning that it's 5 pawns each. So he's just a 0.2 plus up on me now, not that much. And now he's played Bishop E6, which puts me in front, because it wasn't a good move, because I took the B pawn on B7. And then he played bishop into D5. This was his plan, to bring the bishop out, sack the pawn, and get the bishop in a good square. But he forgot I can play C4 to make him move, and then F3 to make him move again in a minute. But first he attacked my queen. I moved my queen to A6, rook B6, king back to A3, and then bishop back to G6. So it's interesting game we got going here. I play rook D1. Now he's played queen down to B2. I chose to take the queen, rook takes, and then get these bishops off. And then when he takes the A pawn, I can attack the C pawn. So temporarily, anyway, I'm down a pawn. But we've got an even situation because I'm now attacking a pawn. So he's defending it, rook A to C8. And now I'm playing rook to B1. So we played H6, rook down to B7, that's what I want to do. And he's threatening checkmate here. He's gone across saying you can have the pawn, I'll checkmate you on E1. So I had to play H4, so I had an escape square for my king. So he played rook down to E2, threatening to take the pawn on G2. So I was able to play rook across to G6, and this is where I'm now winning. I've got 4.5 advantage because of that move, and I'm also definitely going to win the pawn on G7, and he's in a lot of danger as well, because he can't make any headway with his rooks. So he's gone back, and I took the pawn, and now he's played A4. I've moved my rook to G6 to attack that pawn. He's pushing the pawn again. I think he understands that he's losing this game now, and he's just trying to do the best he can to try and maybe get a rook off and queen. So I took the pawn. He played king to G8, and I took the other pawn, and he moved the pawn on. So clearly this is a lost game now. He's got 4 pawns against him, against his 1 pawn. And unless I allow him to queen with that pawn, there's no way he can win this. So I put the rook behind the pawn so he can never move his rook away from it. He checked me, king H2, moved the pawn on again. Now, unless he's got that rook, the other rook down supporting that pawn by coming down to E2 to support that pawn while he moves the rook, then push on, that would give him a chance. But the only thing is, if he comes down, I mate him on the back rank with rook C8. And so he can't do this. So I made sure when he went to A2 with that pawn that I was able to play king G3. King H8, rook H6, king G8, push the pawn on, and he played rook to E2. Now this would work if it weren't for the fact that I can threaten mate again. It just doesn't work. So he had to go back. And when I pushed C6 and he resigned. So it was an interesting game, and for a while it was anybody's game. But he miscalculated when he brought his rooks down to attack my G pawn on G2. He overlooked the fact that I could play rook G6, defending the G2 pawn and attacking the G7 pawn, which cost him the game. So thank you for watching. I hope it's been helpful to you and you enjoyed it. Thank you very much. See you next time.